Post-millennial NYC signs $1 billion contract to expand hotel shelter program for illegals after Roosevelt Hotel shut down. These hotel units will be used by social service vendors to house emergency shelter clients who have entered the shelter system. I am for this. I could not be happier. $1 billion is not enough. I think New York should spend every penny they got to create single centralized locations where all the illegal immigrants go. So that way it's cheaper for Trump when he goes with a handful of ICE agents to round them all up, put them in buses and send them home.
That's right. You just post dudes up at the exits and
wrap some chicken wire around it, pull up a bus and be like, everybody in you go. We're giving you a ride home.
Set security, get in there and see ya.
So it is absolutely insane they're doing this. However, I am kind of serious about it. I mean, a hotel centralized in New York where all of the illegal immigrants are, it's going to be the easiest ICE raid ever. You send one guy with a clipboard. He's going to walk up and be like, I got a van outside. That's all. You don't need anything.
I'm just glad that I don't live in New York, so I don't have to pay that New York City tax that's going to go to the funding of this.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I think a couple things. You got to be careful. You don't want to give up the best city in the country and just blow it off. It's important. It's a cultural hub. It's a financial hub. It would be great to have control of it. And where I'm from, we're not real fond of New York City, but I still don't want to just piss it down the drain. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then secondly, didn't we just find out like 6 months ago or so that New York was shipping welfare recipients to New Jersey because it was cheaper to house them there? So they're keeping them on welfare, like New York City welfare, and then housing them elsewhere. So they're offloading miscreants. At least this is what I heard.
I hadn't heard that, but it wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, I agree with you. Like the idea that we should just write New York off is, I think that's unpalatable to most Americans. But at the same time, New York has gone through bad city governments, and they've come out the other side. And I think that this would probably be the same situation. You'll get Mamdani in there for however long he's in there, and his policies will have the negative repercussions that these types of policies always do. And New Yorkers will get sick of it, and hopefully they'll find someone like Giuliani in the '90s or whatever to fix the city and bring it back.
Why does this work? Why does that work for New York but not California?
Because it's a city versus a state.
But I guess the hubs of California have been the same for how long, right? Like in California, it's other than San Diego, the rest of it is it's all blue everywhere in the cities in the outskirts of the state. It's red.
A lot of that is because of illegal immigration. Yeah. So, and I don't think that you can do that in New York City. I think that because it's a city, I think there are significantly different contexts because of the fact that it's a city. I mean, look, California's awesome. Like, it's beautiful country. Out there is gorgeous. You can literally in January be sitting in Lakeview and looking up at, looking up at the snow-capped mountains. It's gorgeous. That's really, really, really attractive to people, And so it's almost like California itself has empowered the state government to just brutalize the citizens
because they'll put up with it.
Yeah, because they'll put up with it because it's so nice.
It's the one where I'm just like, look, I would never want to live there because of the taxes and because of just the cost of living. But if I could, I would put up with it because it's such a beautiful place to be.
I think also their cities are more spread out. It's easier to get away from, the problematic type people, to use a word. You've got bigger suburbs, giant gated communities. Yeah. If you're rich in LA, Hollywood area, you live up on a mountain with security. And if you're rich in New York, you've got a penthouse, so you're still dealing with it,
I think that's totally right. It's easier to isolate yourself. If you don't like the cities, you can go live in the desert, go out into just maybe half an hour, 45 minutes outside of the city, and it's not the same culture, even if you have to deal with the laws. And I think in California, it's such a big state that I think there's a lot of people that do a lot of skirting the laws out there. People that are just like, I pay my taxes because I have to, but the other things that aren't.
No 10-round mags here.
Out in the desert, there's a lot of mags out there, big mags,
Well, on a positive note, maybe we'll get a Taxi Driver Part 2 that won't be a crappy remake.
Wasn't Joker a remake of Taxi Driver?
Yes.
I don't know.
And Kings of Comedy. I mean,
Like a mixture of the two.
yeah. Yeah, but no, but you could also, I mean, what you don't want is a remake of Falling Down.
Yeah.
Right.
Stay away from that one.
Did you not like Falling Down?
I loved Falling Down.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas. He's just getting bigger and bigger. That's all the movie is.
Yeah.
He just keeps getting a bigger weapon.
Yeah.
Smart moves.
Like that archetype of the guy with the glasses and the white button-up shirt. It's like just you see that guy come, just run.
He's kind of a dick, though.
Run the
He
other
just
way.
wanted breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted breakfast.
My favorite scene is, though, when he's sitting in the park and the two guys come up and they're like, "This is our turf," and he tries to be like, "I didn't realize," and then they shake him down anyway. And what is that? Is that when he beats him with the briefcase?
Yeah.
What a great movie. What's the final weapon that he gets?
Oh gosh, it's been so long.
I know, right?
Wasn't it a rocket launcher?
I thought it might have been the rocket launcher. He just keeps getting bigger.
It's been a long time since I
Could
saw
you
that.
imagine pitching that in Hollywood? Like, here's my movie. It's Michael Douglas, and he starts off with a briefcase, and he beats people, and he gets bigger and bigger weapons until the movie ends.
I mean, the idea is that movies were better when there was more cocaine in the executive office.
You know, I think you're onto something.
No, it's 100% true. It's the sanitization of Hollywood executives that has ruined movie making because nobody's just ripping lines and then saying, "I got an idea."
The idea that he keeps getting bigger and bigger weapons, it reminds me of like the people that were started trading with a paperclip and ended up trading to a house. That's what he's doing just with weapons.
I think that's actually happened several times.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who make videos about it now.
Yeah,
Where
YouTube videos about that.
yeah, you like knock on someone's door and you're like, "I got a business card. What are you gonna give me for it?" And then they're like, "I'll give you a pen."
Okay.
And then the guy takes the pen and you're like, "I'm filming a video." And then
I mean,
I had a paperclip and made it all the way to a house.
A pen is significantly more valuable than a business card.
But the reality is,
pen.
in the early stages of those trades, the pen is valueless to the person. They're like, "I got a bunch of pens laying around." Oh, he got away from you.
He got away that time.
Mosquito.
Wasn't quick enough.
Maybe someone can go around New York and trade a bunch of stuff to get that hotel.
I mean, haven't they been doing this in Portland for a long time? The hotels for illegal immigrants.
I don't understand how the system survives.
I don't think that it's working in Portland, and
I'm
I
saying,
don't
but they've
think it
tried.
does.
Like, I mean our society.
Well, he wants to open this hotel he wants to get this hotel because then he can put the government-run grocery stores right next to it.
Do you guys think that we've passed the event horizon of social collapse based on young Americans not wanting to work, not knowing how to work, and the fertility crisis?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more to do with the fact that, like, whenever these topics come up, people are like, eventually people will learn that free markets are the way. I'm like, no, they're going to turn to the government.
Yeah.
Like they always do,
100%.
right? Like they haven't been trained, that they haven't been taught either by their families or by society to be self-reliant.
This is what people don't understand, right? When you have social disorder, who's in charge when there's no government, right?
Whoever's the
Warlords.
most brutal.
The most brutal guy wins.
Yeah.
And so you end up with barbarians. And the joke is that if, like, the U.S. government collapsed, there's going to be like a prison gang that uses the prison as a base and starts taking over things, right? Okay, well, who's the most brutal guy literally right now?
Most brutal guy right now. I mean, the American
Barbecue.
government.
The U.S. government,
The
indeed.
government, yeah.
So when social order starts breaking down and there's no food, there's no resources, people will go to the most brutal guy and say, I will do anything you say as long as you give me food. And this is what we see time and time again, like in Venezuela. The people who join the military are guaranteed food while everyone's starving. All you got to do is shoot your neighbor if they step out of line. So, and what I mean by that is they will order the Venezuelan National Guard, go out with guns and open fire if ordered to, and you will want for nothing. And so these people are basically like, look, I don't know you. I don't care. It's either I do this so I can feed my family or my children starve. And they do not care about you.
I mean, look at the whole, like, we were talking to Terrence when he was here a couple of weeks ago. And I was talking about how AOC could actually get the nomination and could get elected. And he was like, no. But the situation, the context that Tim's talking about is exactly the situation that would lead to someone like AOC. And maybe it's not AOC, maybe it's Mamdani, right? Like, so maybe he does a couple of years. I don't know how long the New York mayor is in office, but he does a couple of years as the New York mayor. With that kind of position and that kind of high profile, you can guarantee that he will have his sights set on the presidency.
Oh, I didn't know that he was allowed to run for president.
Oh no, you're right. My bad. I'm sorry. I
He's
apologize.
not. He wasn't born
that's
here,
true.
right?
That's true. That's true. But someone like him with the same kind of politics that was born here. You
Yeah,
know,
look. The Constitution is only what people are willing to enforce. And it is conservatives who live in this world of, so as it is written, so must it be done. But the reality is the Constitution has never been enforced. Not once. We only got the right to keep and bear arms in 2008 and only, technically, 2010 with Chicago v. McDonald, I think it was. And so everyone's like, we have a right to keep and bear arms. Well, you actually didn't until 2008. States could actually arrest you and say you can't have a gun. And so that right, although it was enshrined in the Constitution, wasn't actually interpreted to mean you literally could just have a gun. Free speech? No, because they had blasphemy laws. They arrested George Cohen for swearing. Free speech didn't exist the way we understand it until recently. So my point ultimately is the Constitution says you got to be born here. Yeah, okay, right. Give communists enough power and wait till they change the meaning of natural born citizen. And they'll be like, no, it means born of nature, not from a test tube. In West Virginia, this is my understanding. I'd never actually read through their Constitution, but I was told by local politicians that drinking and gambling are banned in the Constitution. So you can't pass a law or legislation that's going to allow gambling and drinking. So what they did was, how can we legalize liquor in West Virginia when the Constitution says no alcohol? I got it. Clearly they meant methyl alcohol, not ethyl alcohol. Obviously they banned methyl. Wood alcohol will kill you if you drink it, but sugar alcohol is fine. So, boom, here we go. And despite the fact they knew exactly what the Constitution was trying to say and what their ancestors were trying to prevent, they said, we all just kind of look at each other, shrug, and say, screw them, we're doing it anyway. So when people are like, Zoran Mamdani can't run for president, or Arnold can't run for president, or whatever, I'm like, dude, give it time. If the communists get enough power, Cenk Uyghur's already made the argument that he should have the right, because he's a naturalized citizen, that should qualify. Otherwise, he's a second-class citizen. Yeah. And there's an interesting argument there. That's like we've talked about it. Because of the way the Constitution's worded right now, a Chinese woman can have a kid in the United States as a tourist, leave immediately, and then 20 years later, that kid moves back to the United States without knowing a word of English, goes to school, studies for 15 years, and then can run for president. I mean, that makes no sense. So I think they absolutely, you know what, let me just put it this way. Do you guys actually believe, if given the opportunity and the political power, Democrats would not change that in some way?
They would do anything they possibly could to maintain power.
I can't wait to read Ketanji Brown Jackson's dissent.
AI generated.
Yes. It's going to be great.
So I'm going to say this. I did a segment on this, on the rumor that it was AI generated. I think it was.
No kidding.
Well, she has one point in it. She says, a Martian arriving from another planet. And immediately everyone went, Martian means from Mars. Like Martian is demonym of, is a fictional Martian life, like Mars life. What?
Yeah.
Like
I think
that
colloquially, that's not necessarily going to be helpful.
Either way, why would a Supreme Court justice write some nonsensical fiction about a Martian? It's something that an AI would generate telling a story.
She was born on Mars and then lived on Venus for a minute. And then
she also had a ... wait for it ... like and who's going to be the real person selling power ? Wait for it ... The executive branch is like, or no, she wrote the district courts, and it's like that's not a legal opinion writing. That's like a feminist blog writing.
There was ellipses in it?
Yeah, ellipses, parentheses, wait for it, parentheses, ellipses.
That's the best.
Yep.
It was good that the rest of the SCOTUS kind of, smacked her down for that.
I think it was AI generated. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.